Finally.
The pause.
Good pause. Good pause. Yes. In my Matt Hardy voice. People, welcome back. Y'all boys are back. We are back finally. After some much needed rest, some much needed R&R, some much needed life. Life been lifing, but you know what I'm saying? As the great Nazia Jones once said, life is good. You know what I'm saying? So we are back. Hot Take Wrestling. I am the boy, old man Logan. To my, let's see, that's the left. So to my right, good sir, introduce yourself. It's KG. KG.
Oh, that would be me. Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know we was.
right,
I didn't know we was getting.
On the screen, you.
I didn't know if we was getting fancy intros like we
left?
normally do. That's why I didn't. That was confusing me. I know we normally have our intro. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, salutations. I just need to understand why there's some great things during the Paul Levesque era, but I do need to know why Jeff Cobb is out here sounding like a heartthrob in a low budget soap opera star. So, JC Mateo.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say he sound like a Samoan heartthrob?
No, a soap opera heartthrob on a low budget.
It doesn't get any better.
No, it doesn't.
To be heartthrob.
He sounds like a heartthrob on a soap opera show.
God damn it!
But I didn't do our lavish, luxurious intro.
JC Mateo.
There you go, JC Mateo. But I didn't do the lavish, luxurious intros first because I wanted to just simply give you guys your flowers after we.
I thought we was having budget cuts. Or
something. So no budget cuts. Here we go. Here we go.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
Yeah, I thought we got hit with like copyright infringement or something after the Wise Man. Remember that time Wise Man was on here watching X-rated videos and he got us cut off IG Live.
Yeah, that part.
I thought we was like got a cease and desist or something.
Hey. Nah, they just don't play them games, man. They saw that Triple X content and they said, take that right down. But all right, there we go. Doing something different, y'all, with the intros. Down bottom, my main man, Clutch Daddy, aka Clutch Bagwell, sir. Welcome to the show. Welcome to High Take Wrestling. Welcome back, amigo.
Blessings, everybody. As you said in the introduction a moment ago, you know, we needed some much needed relaxation, R&R, and life and everything that happened in the time that we've been around and apart and not here. That's speaking a lot to me because I've really been having some issues, but not too much where I wasn't able to enjoy and watch wrestling and give my opinion on it. And I'm fighting through some pain to give y'all my takes because I love y'all. And I'm a big part of the IWC. And I say that reluctantly because we are not the same, but yeah, and still, you know, I'm glad to be here tonight with my brothers. And no matter how we go about it or what we doing, what we talking about tonight, we gonna give them something because I'm ready. You think being gone this long, I ain't been sitting on some shit. All right.
There you go. So let me give you flowers, man.
OMG, it's Clutch Uso, king in a black robe. Ill will, hashtag high takes king.
All right. Should I play mine? I mean, you know, we're already in the thick of things.
Why not? Go, you better do it, boy. We know the guy. We know who is this guy. We know this guy. Go on and play it. Go on and play it. That guy.
It's Big Oos, old man Logan. Acknowledge him.
People, I want to tell y'all, when I say life been life and life been life, and it's been ups, it's been downs, it's been celebratory, and it's been just kind of going through the motions. But right now, in this space, in this moment, I'm happy because Hot Take Wrestling has that record button going. We're live, we're doing us, we're trying to get back to it in a full, good way. And I just thank y'all, man, for checking us out when y'all do check us out. All right? Okay. So now that we got these intros out the way, baby.
And now, your week in review.
KG, take it away, my good brother.
I'm gonna need Logan Paul to stop snuffing out Jey Uso like he running around like he Debo on Friday or something. He just keep knocking his ass out like on a regular. I'm gonna need that to be explained to me. Also, I'm glad that they're doing a slow build for this uh, Jacob Fatu versus Solo feud. I thought that was a hilarious exchange they had on Friday. He said it like he used to say it. Hey, how you? What did you just say? Every hour of the day. I love you, Solo. Nah, say it like he used to say it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh man, I do think I will say this. We said we weren't going to touch that much on WrestleMania. I do think it's kind of wild that Solo was the focal point and carried the Bloodline storyline, and this man did not have a match at WrestleMania. I do think that's kind of wild. I'm not saying he had to be high up on the card. I personally enjoyed him, the hostile takeover of him. Yeah, I mean, there's things he could be better at, but like, you shouldn't be expecting 4 or 5 star classics from everybody, first of all. Just the character itself. And he had good matches. Don't even like that steel cage match with Cody, the street fight with Cody at SummerSlam, I thought was good. Steel cage, I think, was on SmackDown. Um, so it's like, I personally just thought that was kind of wild, but I want to see what they do with that. I'm hoping if they flip Jacob officially, I know he's super over. I'm hoping he just kind of keeps that same mentality, that same personality, should I say, that he has now. I don't need him, catering to the crowd or anything like that. He should just be what he is, just a badass wrestler type thing. I do think it's going to be interesting to see. We all suspected in our chat whether or not Sammy's going to be turning on Punk. I just don't see it for me personally. I think that's like a linear move for Samuel going backwards. I mean, like I said, the dude's already been in the main event and won in the main event of WrestleMania. He ended Gunther's historic IC title reign the year after that at WrestleMania. So it's like, and he's been in the Bloodline thing where he was kind of playing second fiddle, but he also got pushed in the main event spot. So like, to me, going to Seth stable it's kind of a step backwards to me, because we know Seth's the flat out leader. This stable is clearly being done to make Braun Breaker a star eventually, kind of like IE they did with Batista. I feel like we're getting some evolution vibes there. So if they add anybody else, one person I could definitely see them adding who could be their Randy Orton, in terms of maybe Austin Theory, because there is some backstory there. Obviously, during the pandemic, Austin Theory was taken under Seth's ring when he was doing this straight edge, not the straight edge, but the Monday Night Messiah gimmick.
Yeah.
With
them two,
Buddy Murphy. Yep. And speaking of that, I mean, I don't want to go into too much of a tangent. This will be not a heated roundtable, but real quick, I just think it's hilarious how many of Seth's gimmicks just imitate Punk. I just think it's hilarious. The Monday Night Messiah, the straight edge Messiah. He terrorized Rey Mysterio's son and the family. What did Seth do during the pandemic? He terrorized Rey Mysterio and his son. The best in the world. I think he tried that in 2019. That's when the crowd turned on him. Do you remember too when Punk first went in the Nexus? Remember Punk had the blonde streak. People forget about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He did.
But never mind. That's not here or there. I
wanted to touch on it because I remember when Seth was on. He was on social media and he was going back and forth. I want to say he was going back and forth with Kenny Omega. I think he was going back and forth with Will Ospreay as well about the whole best in the world saying and gimmick. And he did, like KG said, he got a lot of flack from a lot of fans as a result because of the way he was coming off on social media.
I just think certain people are just meant to be heels or tweeners most of their career. I think Seth's one of them. It's just, he's gotten better with his cadence, but when he first came out, that's kind of like Tiffany Stratton right now. She's gonna have to work on her cadence and her delivery and everything, because she hasn't changed the gimmick really. She doesn't really seem comfortable being a babyface.
Because she's not.
She's not, exactly. It's just it's like I said, it's similar with Seth. It's not a knock on Tiffany. Great wrestler. I mean, the gimmick works. It's just it's not a babyface gimmick. She needs to find her place as a babyface if they're going to push her as one. Because, like I just said, it's just the way her tone and everything right now is just going to take time to sound like a babyface. It took Seth X amount of
Yeah,
years to finally get into his bag as a babyface. And I'm interested to see because obviously they wrote him off television. I think that's kind of wild though that Punk took just as bad of a beating and Punk is back. I think they should have did a bigger beatdown with Roman personally. Um, I'm interested to see where they go with him for sure. I don't know what route they're gonna go when he actually does make his return. I'd be shocked if he's not back by SummerSlam. I don't know exactly where you place him at. Do you have him go after Cena because he's putting this the last real champion thing? I'm not saying you take the title off him because it's kind of going back to status quo. Even though hasn't had a babyface run, he had the crowd over. He definitely had a crowd behind him. You could go that route, but that's like being a dead horse at this point because Roman they've only had what 2 matches. Roman went over twice already against Cena, so that's kind of being a dead horse at that point. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like if they do that, that should be Cena's last opponent because they keep pushing the greatest of all time, on Cena,
You're
especially
right,
because he just on the team.
right,
But
exactly,
Cena said like publicly and in character, like he think he can't say that Roman should be that, and Roman might rub that in his face at a certain point in his run and how to
exactly,
do it. So yeah, that's the only way I see them wrestling against each other at this.
right.
But other than that,
Yeah,
the champ on Monday, SJ Uso, he's not going to turn heel to do that again.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, and I wouldn't mind Roman challenging. It's something different, and like you said, it's going to be down the line. It wouldn't be like they did that clearly because they needed a marquee matchup with Orton, and it was in St. Louis, so they kind of
oh
needed
yeah,
this. They needed to do that, and it needed to happen. Period. Whether no matter where it was at, but I think Orton's to the point now, and that's why I would say, even though I think it was Clutch and I had that debate, yeah, about who was the greatest between them and between Orton and Cena, and I wanted to pick Orton because if you know who to do that, just be like, you know what, I will take that at a backlash. I'm not the payday would have been better at a SummerSlam. The ticket because people won't show up at SummerSlam regardless, but that is no matter how many times we've seen it, that's gonna sell regardless. But he could have pulled that card if he really wanted to. Like, nah, I'm cool. We wait to SummerSlam, bigger payday, um,
hmm
bigger crowd. They could have main event at night two potentially because I think that's the first. This is the first year that SummerSlam is going 2 nights.
yeah. It's
Um,
gonna be too nice this year.
So it's one of those situations too where I'm interested to see where they go with that. Obviously we knew Truth wasn't getting a title shot. I did think it's hilarious how they just interjected our Truth
I love
and
that
Randy Orton.
to get
Yeah,
to get that. That's actually kind of dope.
it's kind of funny. I because there was rumors too. They were talking about potentially Cody coming back and getting a title back. I said, nah, that don't really sit well with me. I think Cody served his purpose as the babyface champion. I do think it's kind of wild. I saw those memes running around how it took all that chaos and bloodline rules to get the title off Roman. And Travis Scott is the reason Cody's 360 some odd day, 70, 80 odd day went title reign ended. He held the title over a year. Travis Scott is the reason why. Like, what are we doing here?
Hey, the final boss had that much confidence in Travis Scott to assist John Cena.
Man,
I almost,
he wants to fiend every day. Like
I don't ever want to hear that song again unless they find a way to resurrect Bray
I
Wyatt.
don't, that's what I'm. Yeah, let that be a part of like a fiend resurrection in the YS6 storyline, and then we never hear that forever.
Thank you. I
Like
hate that song. I'm yeah. Um, what other thing I wanted to touch on? Gets well soon Zoe Stark. That sucked. I don't know the
Totally.
severity, but that definitely sucked when I saw that a couple
I
days
don't know
ago when I
what life
watched.
is on with the stud line, but goddamn,
Yeah. Um, I will say I was gonna say this for the heated roundtable, but this is just an opinion out there because the next major PLE is Money in the Bank. I think they need to get rid of Money in the Bank for a few years. There's nothing really that they have done with the briefcase that they haven't done. The only thing they haven't done is have someone, I brought this up in the podcast before, is have someone cash in on a close acquaintance. Or not acquaintance, not really close, like a tag team partner or somebody, a family member or something like that. That's the only thing they haven't done with the briefcase. Because you can't count Tiffany and Nia because she kind of was like belittling her. They were tagging, but otherwise, like it was one of those things where she was just kind of trying to keep her under her thumb type thing. So that don't really count. That's the only thing I think they haven't done with the briefcase. The only thing and the only way you could do that this year because you could have Sammy turn heel, but ain't nobody else that's close to Jey Uso. Assuming he's walking in, I'm assuming he's gonna still have the title by Money in the Bank. We'll get into our predictions for Saturday Night main event later, but I don't think they're gonna take the title off Jay before then.
So
I just think it's hilarious. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, the evolution point you made about Seth and this new group that they creating right now. Do you think he's the right person for that type of role? Because if you got Seth in like the Triple H role, if you will, right? Then you got Brian, like you said, in the Batista role, and whoever else they add, it'll probably be like the Randy Orton. So is Seth the guy? And you get the experience, obviously, from having Paul Heyman there. You don't have a Ric Flair there, but you got Paul there in that role, per se. So do you think this is the right person to kind of do that kind of group with?
I think so, only because for one, Seth's so versatile, he could play both roles, and he's unlike Triple H. Because I'm gonna be honest, much people love Triple H, and I love this character. Triple H kind of got lazy and content when Evolution came around. That might be a hot take that nobody wants to hear, but he was having some pretty bad matches during that time. People forgot about that. Like outside of the Benoit and HBK stuff, and honestly, they could have great matches with broomsticks. Like, so let's not sit here and not saying the Triple H needed to be carried, but he had some pretty bad feuds, some pretty bad matches. Like the feud with Kane. I mean, the stuff with Batista was decent, but it's like they did all that to go back to the status quo. But to answer your question, I think Seth's still kind of in his prime, so I think Seth was the right person because he's always kind of one of their cornerstones anyway. You couldn't really do it with Roman, even though he fits the mold too, but because you just did the bloodline, so you're not going to do that with Roman.
Right.
I have no problem with it. I don't think there needs to be a time frame on people regaining the championship. I do think at the end of the day, like maybe by SummerSlam, Seth probably does get the championship back. So to answer the question, yeah, I think Seth is the right person for that. He's just done too much work for the company not to keep him relevant. And when he gets it back, it might not even be one of those long Triple H runs because Triple H he spent a lot of time with that championship during the Evolution time. Outside of Benoit's, like 4 months he had it after WrestleMania 20. For the most part, Trips was like either playing hot potato with it with somebody else or he kept it for a while. Because I remember Goldberg touched it for a little bit. I forgot HBK had it, but that was before Evolution technically. HBK had it for that month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is. I just think he's too versatile. What he does, what he's done for the company, what he did to elevate the World Heavyweight Championship in the first place. I just want to see if this is one more member to make it a four-man group, and it might not be necessarily a guy. It could be a woman. I don't know, something different. And if it is, obviously Becky's the obviously go-to. But then once again, right. certain people just not meant to be in certain roles because the last 2 times they tried to turn her heel, man, her promo's just been too cringeworthy, bro. Big time Bex and I took out the garbage. That's not what you say. When someone takes out the garbage, you say, thank you for taking out the... What are you talking about? It is not good promo work. She's just not supposed to be a heel.
Yeah. I'm hoping, because it looked like she's going in that realm. So if she does, maybe we'll get a more grounded heel approach this time around. It won't be this whole big-time Bex thing like they were doing. It'll just be a more vicious Becky, if you will, if that's possible. So we'll see. Clutch, what you thinking on this, though, man? What you think about Seth in this role and this being like a new evolution for the new generation?
Well, if this is really what they're doing, I think it's a better direction than anything that it looked like it could have been. Because for a minute, it looked like they were going to drag on Seth like a professional player hater. He was on Punk for a minute. Like he just wouldn't get off his ass. And then it kind of like evolved where Drew McIntyre took on that character. And now after Seth's involvement with the bloodline rules situation last year, it was kind of like what was next for him? Is he gonna like go back to being the Monday Night Messiah? Is he just gonna be like, burning down the freaking dress dude? Like, but how long was that gonna be? Anything that's gonna be worth something? Being in this role is like the best that could have happened, in my opinion, for Seth Rollins. He got Paul Heyman, who, if nothing else, it takes like mic time off of Seth because Seth is a good promo, but he's not a great promo. So having Paul in that role is actually pretty dope, especially for literally everybody that's involved in that angle with him. Because like Braun Breaker, he can talk, but it still sounds very Steiner. You know how that's limited. He talked for too long, I'm gonna laugh straight up. And then with who's the other person in the group?
Well, right now it's this them two, right? And Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
they're making it, they're giving it the illusion or the look that Sammy may turn, but they haven't. You know what I'm saying?
Why haven't we considered yet that it could be Bronson Reed?
I think that only depends on how long he's gonna be on the sidelines, because the injury he got at War Games, he broke both his ankles or something like that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So So
but we done seen some stuff. Like I wouldn't be surprised you look up and he like come out, be that.
I wouldn't be mad at that though.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like that'll give him something to do, and then he'll be. I could see Bronson Reed being involved in something like that, literally just from how he attached himself to that bloodline storyline. And but if it's not him, I wanted to say this when KG was kind of talking about it. I kind of think it really is going to be Sami Zayn, because again, if it's not this, what they gonna do with him? He was always one of those people that when it got rough, you either put him in a bubble with the Samoans or Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is going to be gone for a nice little minute, and it definitely don't make sense to attach him to the Samoans right now because of what happened. He still has his on-screen friendship on Raw with Jey Uso, and with the way it's looking, I'm thinking about like that promo exchange that they had right before, it looked like Sammy just was going to be on this side of the fence with him. But they were talking for too long to me for this match to come together and Sammy don't turn. Let's be real. We've watched wrestling, bro. Like, he not finna do this and then be this big hero of the match and get a title match after it's over. Like, come on. Like, what he really gonna do? He's gonna haluva kick the hell out of whoever's on his team side with momentum at that point. He's gonna be that other person. And I also wanted to say, if you would have added Becky Lynch in this heel role to a group like that, this would be the one time it actually wouldn't matter because of the point I made about Paul Heyman. Imagine Paul Heyman speaking for Becky Lynch. It's more legitimate. That's the most legitimate thing she could ever do on a heel run she could ever have. Because Big Time Bex was very... Big Time Bex reminded me of Dean Ambrose's heel run before he left. And that is not a compliment in any capacity whatsoever. Big Time Bex was like putting on the gas mask and acting like Bane for no damn reason.
Yeah, they were trying to basically, you could try to see what they were doing. They were trying to basically go to Conor McGregor, right? But Conor McGregor is a natural asshole. Yeah, Becky Lynch is not. Becky Lynch, or her real name, what, Rebecca Quinn or whatever. Both people know she's a sweetheart. That's the problem.
She's a funny person.
She's quirky. Yeah,
she's silly as hell. And y'all want her to be this stone cold asshole 24/7 on camera, and
it don't work. Well, that's why once again I was speaking on accomplishments, but you kind of have to look at who else is some people too that just fix their acting though. Bailey's the MVP out of the four of them because she can do both and make it believable without getting flustered because Charlotte flustered for real. They're not because they're not wooing them, but they legit booing.
Charlotte came back right too soon from a divorce, and it's showing, man. Like she not able to lock into her character work on camera because of the stuff that she going through behind the scenes. And Tiffany Stratton like exposed that. And now anybody that does any mic work with her going forward is kind of like showing that she's not comfortable being Charlotte Flair right now.
Right. I just think it's hilarious too that she's trying to sell that and they're trying to get Tiffany over. What did Charlotte say? She said the best women's match in WrestleMania history, sweetheart. That was one of the worst ones in terms of the hype it got. It looked sloppy. Then you could tell they was just like winging it. That there were still tension. Like, and Charlotte, did you forget the match you just had with Rhea Ripley 2 years ago? That's probably the best women's match in WrestleMania history.
Bro, the most talked about thing in their build-up was an on-screen shoot.
Yeah.
Mistake. Not the match. Not anybody they fought along the way. Not the promo the way it was supposed to go because it was like that because it was like this is forced and trash. Charlotte had that.
You hit that right on the head, bro. It was forced. I don't think we had to immediately run to the Charlotte. I was gonna say Trish Stratus shit. What's her name?
Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton. We didn't have to run to that. We could have let that simmer. They could have. We've been seeing so much storybook telling and things cooking for like months at a time. We could have just had Charlotte go after Nia, or we could have had her go after Rhea and just got the sequel to that. And I'm pretty sure as fans we would have been content with that. You know what I mean? It's one of the eyesores I think for a lot of fans when it comes to WrestleMania Las Vegas, which is why it sounds like they're trying to do a do-over now that we been getting these rumors and news that WrestleMania 42 is no longer going to be in New Orleans. So it's a lot of things there where, and like y'all said, she came back too fast and didn't deal with the personal stuff. You still on, the same brand as your ex-husband. You're still in the same work environment. Like, I'm really shocked that they didn't put one or the other on Raw and one on SmackDown just yet, But here we are, you know what I mean? So it's just one of them things. Also, I just got to give LA Knight his props, man, because LA Knight's awesome. He's been doing his thing. It's like I like the ascent of Jacob Fatu, but it's also like the U.S. title, just the crop of guys that they got in that picture right now. It's like, yeah, the U.S. title it's solid. It's solid versus the IC title.
You are so right. And I'm sorry I laughed when you mentioned LA Knight, but like, so look, he was at a point in his popularity where he was looking at like a possibility of the idea of being champ while Roman Reigns was champion. It turned him into a 2-time United States champion. What made me laugh, he went through all of that shit with Shinsuke Nakamura just to be right back there right now. God damn it. Like Shinsuke dropped the belt back to him to deal with some stuff in Japan. Boom. And he put over Jacob Fatu and Shinsuke right back on his ass. What's happening here? We don't need this. Damn, Triple H, have you learned anything from your father?
And you got Drew McIntyre injected into that now too. So it's just kind of like, all right.
Well, I will say this about WrestleMania 41. Two of the main matches, there were 4 matches that are being pushed as marquee matches, obviously. 2 were underwhelming. 2 were great. We always jokingly say New Japan is God or AEW God, Meltzer. Because we were complaining about the way the storyline came out. The match was fire though with that triple threat. I think Meltzer gave it 5 stars. Rhea, Bianca, and Io got 5 stars, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So Punk, Roman, and Seth, I think borderline. I think he got 5. It got something. It got pretty high rating too. Jay and Gunther got a high rating. The U.S. title got a good rating for what the time they got.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a good match, Jacob and LA Knight. The IC title match got high rating. I'm like, it's 2 matches that came out underwhelming, and one shouldn't be a surprise. We can't be expecting Cena to get a 5-star match anymore or anything like that, any close. I
Right.
don't care about.
Right.
I don't care. The storyline is great. It happened 5, 10 years too late. I told you that before when it happened. It happened too late for us to care. Personally, for me,
Facts.
it's
Facts.
social media. But I'm talking about the hardcore wrestling fans. The casual fans, they lost their minds. It was a great moment. It was just at a
Mm-hmm.
moment. Don't expect because Will Ospreay ain't walking through that door. So and they're not gonna push Johnny Gargano
Not,
just
not
to get John Cena a 5-star match.
no.
I'm just saying who could get a 5-star match out of John Cena at this point. Well, Seth could still,
But
but they
that's
both
not
heels.
anything
That's
that
not the
he
point of that's not the
can
point of
do.
his.
No.
I'm just saying like if you're disappointed by the match, what I'm saying is don't be surprised by that. That's the point I was making. Not
Yes.
like let's push him to get a 5-star. But the other one, like I said, it was too much tension for them to have a good match. I wouldn't redo WrestleMania in the whole city because of 2 matches. Because the
Mm-hmm.
rest of because people complaining. Other than that, the card was good. Drew and Damon had a good match. It could have been for a street fight. It could have been more time because you hear street fight, you think you get more stuff in. But I thought they had a good match.
That would have fit better, I think, at Backlash because Backlash they totally could have got more time in it to cook. And
Well,
you know what I mean?
similar to the TLC match, they wouldn't have got no 30 minutes if they put that TLC
That's true.
match
Yeah.
on WrestleMania. They would have on the pre-show maybe.
Yeah.
See, the thing about it is, it's not even that they need a redo because it was god awful. It's just that last year's WrestleMania was better.
It was. I
That's
just
just
wouldn't.
the thing. Like
Yeah.
the build up to every match last year shat on every build up to every match this year. Before January, who knew that John Cena and Cody Rhodes was the definite main event for the championship? Who knew that? Who knew that
Yeah.
before now? We
I.
knew last year that Cody Rhodes and Roman was going to fight before Royal Rumble at Mania, no matter what was going to happen. We didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
this year. So everything felt, whether it was mediocre, bad, or good going into WrestleMania this year, all that shit felt forced. All of it. Bianca still didn't even turn heel yet, and we thought that was going to happen. Well, certain stuff we had in mind to happen that didn't happen the way we thought, but some stuff like Jey Uso winning the world title, we knew it was gonna happen, but how? We didn't
Right.
go into this year's WrestleMania event with like a clear predicted card in a way versus last year where we knew like this was gonna go this way. It's definitely gonna go this way because of this person's involvement. Like I
Mm-hmm.
saw somebody mention something that was like the Rock just showed up all these times and it didn't mean shit. Well, that's because y'all got used to when you saw him last year, you saw him and then it turned into a match.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that was missing this year, everything with WrestleMania kind of feels like a big clusterfuck, but in reality, it was a solid show. It's just because me here that was in Las Vegas. We always want each one to top the other one. This was just one that kind of, I want to say, the stayed on course or regressed a little bit just because of the build to like the main matches. Even
Mm-hmm.
it's a great example. Who thought that a triple threat match with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins would have been a main event for either one of those nights before this year at all? We just brought up Solo Sikoa earlier, right? Wasn't he
Mm-hmm.
like in the main event for the title with Cody at SummerSlam?
Yep.
Name a time when a healthy SummerSlam main eventer did not have a WrestleMania match.
Now that kind of baffled me. I ain't gonna lie. They could have just threw him in that mix for the U.S. title just so he could have been present and
That
had a
would
WrestleMania
have
moment.
even doing that, bro, would have like added a little bit to the whole him and Jacob thing.
Mm-hmm. Because you could have really set the tone and planted the seeds there. You know what I'm saying? And
Made
while you
about
mentioned,
which one of them is going to bring the title to the blood back home to the family versus it being Jacob and then them doing this passive aggressive turn. Because in my opinion, Jacob turned when he won the U.S. title at WrestleMania, and they just got Solo like playing into the face turn without making it super obvious. It's obvious as hell. Like his promos, he pops out of the crowd, and he's starting to fight. He's starting to fight heels. It's obvious the turn didn't happen. They're just
bro,
waiting.
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob turned at Saturday Night Main Event.
It
When they
happens.
kept asking for him to do his splash off the top rope on Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah. That's when it happened.
I mean, I
That's
didn't want to. I didn't even run the crowd over. I wouldn't say that's when he turned though. He
He won
just
the crowd.
No, not officially turned, but the
no,
crowd
yeah,
was so
That's
open.
what the
yeah. No,
crowd
I know
was
that.
booing
Yeah.
him. Yeah, they weren't booing him no more.
Yeah. From there, it was off to the Raptors. Like, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't. You couldn't force the whole "I love Solo." You couldn't force that no more because he's hot. He's hotter than Solo at that point. So it's like,
Now
what
it's
do you
like,
do?
okay, we're here to hear him talk. That's what it turned into. Like we was over this, and that's why I think it's funny. Solo was like, say it the way he used to say it. Like,
Right. And shout out to Solo, man, because Solo on the mic.
it's gold, man.
He's gold. He's bro. I
How
was
did he not
enjoying
have a WrestleMania match?
bro. I was enjoying the hell out of that promo on last Friday. The KG brought up like I said, yo, for him to just been this quiet, doing all this for majority of the bloodline to now just the way he talks and he talk effortlessly almost. It's like, yo, it's night and day. But again, it's the whole thing with like Fatu. It's like you can't hold Fatu back too long because obviously, as we see now, a lot of people that were casual fans or just WWE fans, they didn't know he could talk. But if you knew him from the Indies and from MLW and all that, then you knew the guy was a star. Just like Tama Tonga got he got the hyena thing off. He got that over.
He did. And Tama Tonga used to be able to talk. Well, used to, but you can get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Him before this was a decent promo.
So it's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's what a time. But then I do think The Rock not being around, he came, did the whole little thing. We got that, and you don't pop up at Mania. That definitely it's like a WTF moment. You know what I mean with fans because it's like what happened to that storyline, that story angle? Okay, you want his soul. First off, I wasn't really a big fan of that promo from the start. Like if I'm being honest, like
I want your
I don't want
soul.
that. I want your soul. Now you Shang Tsung, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Like, are you Shao Kahn or are you Shang Tsung? Like, which one are you? Like, I was
Now,
confused.
now the only thing I will say about comparing WrestleMania last year to this year is the only difference you had two marquee matchups that were underwhelming. Last year we just had the one, the Usos. Jimmy and Jay had a trash one. It was awful. But that's the only difference. I mean, you just didn't have two. You had one last year that stood out, but if you look at the rest of those matches in the WrestleMania 40 card, a lot of them were good or great. Same with this year. Outside of those two, and they were on different nights. It's not like John Cena and Cody was on. Now, it had the triple threat ended night two. I think it would have left a better taste in people's mouths. The way that with the quality of the match slash the ending of it. Because we knew Cena was leaving with the championship more than likely. It didn't make sense for him not to. It's just the way the match came off and the ending.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's all it really was. I don't think people would have been as angry with WrestleMania if the triple threat ended night two.
Agreed.
It was just night two was for the casuals, and that's fine. It probably, in hindsight, should not have been the last match on the card for the WrestleMania weekend. That's all it is to it, probably. So
it got so bad that the build ended up making a huge deal out of that really didn't amount to shit. It really didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't. Like it wasn't like it was a title involved. It was a WrestleMania main event spot. he knew that all the way back then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I think it didn't hit me until I said it out loud just now. Literally, in order for this favor to hold any weight at the time that they put that War Games in matter, that was like November, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would have had to knew that Paul Heyman had like some type of pull to even put that in play. How did him and Punk know that and Roman didn't? Roman wasn't the champ at the time. Roman wasn't even in like that whole storyline. He didn't even have anything to do with a championship. So how the hell did so much stake get put into this favor for the favor to turn into a main event where no championship was on the line? When?
Right.
Yeah, Paul, like it's I didn't. This that I feel like Shane did that. This is some Shane McMahon shit here. this,
Oh,
this,
and that's something I wanted to bring up. I just was sitting there trying to remember it. We got the heel turn, right? Cena finally turns heel.
Yep.
You said, man, Bianca hasn't even turned heel yet, right? I got a hot take for you, broski. I think Cena turning heel is the only reason Bianca didn't turn heel, because it would have gotten overshadowed. And at the same time, we had Naomi turn heel. So that whole Cena at Elimination Chamber, the ramifications of what happened from there, that bled over into WrestleMania. He's a heel now. Everybody, the hoopla is, oh, how's he going to come out? Is he going to change the ring gear? Is he going to change the music? Who's going to come out? Is he going to get a stable now? Like, all of that, like, it just all kind of, just became the little frenzy that still wasn't the bloodline Cody, level, of interest, but it created enough of a stir and frenzy for them to coast into WrestleMania, and we didn't really have the particulars, with a fine tooth comb on this past WrestleMania the same way we did there. And I think that's what the issue, at least for me, that was kind of like the underlying issue. But like y'all said, man, you won't get no argument out of me. That triple threat with Io, Bianca, and Rhea, that was the match.
That was fire.
Yeah,
crazy how Io won.
yeah.
And I love that. I love that. That's what it ended up being with the build around that match, looking like they were basically, overlooking the champion. Like she don't got a clean record against both of y'all.
Yeah. That was very a la what was that? Stone Cold Rock and Y2J.
Yep.
That's what that was right there. That was a callback to that.
Both else that day. Yeah. See, that was. That was. But aside from that, like it would have looked bad if Bianca won that match and didn't turn heel because of the Cena thing. So in hindsight, that was the best way to go. And then it took me to what we were just talking about with John Cena. I'm thoroughly enjoying this heel run because it's like heel 101. Cena's character before the turn officially, he always was an asshole. I don't know why they kept wanting to seem like he was such a good person because of the colors and the people he was facing. But John Cena been doing heel shit for the last 20 years. Solid. The whole time. This John Cena heel run, he is getting on the microphone and saying, this is what I'm going to do. This how I'm going to do it. And this is what you get. And he's doing everything he's saying. From the way his WrestleMania entrance was to the way the match got carried out, Cena told us in 2 separate promos it was going to go that exact same way. He's pushing the same merchandise. He kept the same music. He said in these exact beat you in half the time with less the effort. And everybody looking at the way the match was carried out, Cena said, I'm going to do that. And he did. I love every moment of this shit. I'm like, oh my God, this is basic Cena. Oh wait, why is he? And he won. Wow. He said it was going to go that exact way. And when you think about all those matches Cody Rhodes had up until that match where he bleeding, putting on classics and going a mile. He injured himself, came back, kept the belt the whole time. This whole 365 days. Travis Scott or not, Cena beat this man no blood.
Man.
No foreign objects. I mean, Travis Scott, but what factor does this rapper have to your year reign with all the obstacles you overcame? The story was more exciting than the reign.
Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Damian Priest's 3-month reign after winning at Mania was more impactful to his career and that title than Cody's 1-year reign up until now. I stand on that.
I can't co-sign that one. Cody was like, they even
I
showed
will.
it. He was like, nah, Cody was like the biggest box office draw last year in wrestling. They even showed it, like the gate box and everything.
It was forced, bro. It had to.
I mean, you can't. No, but like, how many? No, but wait. Let's talk about it though, because how many times you see wrestlers like we said before, as much of a legend he is, and Kevin Nash had the title for a year. WWE had his worst year in history financially. So, and that man's a legend. Let's not. Now, could the character have been better at times? Yes, I will give you that. But it's hard to be a babyface in today's era. And Damian Priest was in between too. So let's not like. I'm not saying that like he didn't do a good job, but he also was able to be a little bit in between because when he got it, he was still technically a heel. They kind of flipped him at the end of his title run with the Gunther feud to kind of get the crowd to win him over.
And then they put that documentary out, and then that got him sympathy from the fans too. And then they decided to take the belt off of him. That's what fucked up the whole run for him.
Yeah,
he was a solid transitional champ though. Like like I see both of y'all points there as far as who was the better champion. I'll say this: I think there were more meaningful feuds in Damian Priest's title reign than Cody. Cody was a lot of kissing babies, a lot of shaking hands, a lot of
Cena with a suit and a tattoo.
But and I said this not too long ago on our pod. I said I didn't really feel like Cody had a super duper meaningful feud until the Kevin Owens feud. Like that was his best match during that entire title reign to me. If we're being at that.
I mean, I know the crowd kept saying you gonna do him like that. That match against AJ in France. You telling me that wasn't fire?
Not saying it wasn't fire. But I'm just saying my personal opinion. I was super.
No. I'm saying no.
That won't be, man.
No,
not saying
no. The overall feud came off way better. I'll give you that. The overall feud itself, the match quality, I think I would say is 1A, 1B, like Will was speaking to. The actual feud, hands down, KO was better. The match quality, though, I would say,
in totality. Yeah.
Because it made way more sense too. Because Kevin Owens did what Kevin Owens did, but he also the problem with that feud is Kevin Owens wasn't wrong. That's the problem with that.
He actually wasn't. That's crazy. Like, I just hate how they play him off like his character in that feud, like a jealous ex-girlfriend.
Right, and he was entirely right.
Right. The way they had him carrying the Winged Eagle belt post that match,
that was hilarious.
It was a little bit extra. Like they didn't have to do that. If he wasn't gonna win the belt and then take that and make that the championship, they didn't have to really include that for Cody to beat him and then he take it and now he's like, I'm the real. No, you're not. Like, come on, man. Like,
no, that's the only reason I won't co-sign too. How many people put Logan Paul in this place on the mic since because they've been letting Logan Paul get his stuff in. Cody kind of put him in this place on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, huh?
Yeah.
I'll just say that I'm not saying it was a crazy run. It wasn't like no CM Punk run or nothing like that when he was the anti because even Punk got a little. I mean, Punk is Punk. Like he was doing his bag. Like he won a 3-4 year stretch. He arguably was having the best promos in wrestling. But I'm just saying it just shows you because even with Punk, he was still kind of a tweener when he first got that championship. Punk wasn't no full-on babyface when he took the title off Cena. He came off that way because that match was in Chicago. And it was cool to be the anti-corporate guy type thing. You know, almost 10 years after the fact, closer to 15, it's that modern day version of Stone Cold in terms of being anti-establishment.
Mm-hmm.
But Punk wasn't a full-on babyface till he took the title off Del Rio in the Garden.
Yeah.
Punk, that whole 5-month run, Punk was a tweener.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
he didn't have the title the whole 5 months, but like he was in the title picture for 4 or 5 months before he officially got that that long run. He took the title off Cena, stayed in the title picture, dropped it at SummerSlam, stayed in the title picture, that a triple threat in Hell in a Cell. R-Truth and Miz got arrested.
All right, all right. So look, man, let me go ahead and drop this bomb right quick, like Flex.
Well,
Ooh, the round table's getting heated. Heated round table.
Speaking of Cody, so what do you want to talk about?
this is
I wanted
all
to start
clutch.
the show with that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
This is all clutch's lane tonight because it will be refreshing to get some TNA and NXT talking. Because I'll be honest, man, I'm at wrestling overload, so this will be a fresh take on what's been going on.
So look, I've noticed that it's been a lot of stake being put into this Joe Hendry and Trick Williams feud. And the way that these wrestling feuds are being built up in Trick Williams' like character development, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because what I'm going to say would be bad news to a certain one of us out there. He's going to hate what I'm going to say. I love you, brother, but hey, the truth is the truth, brother. They might just be getting ready to put the TNA title on Trick Williams. Trick Willie
in TNA.
Trick Williams might end up being a guy that can say he was a WWE wrestler contracted to win the TNA championship, which gives his character as a heel in this stage in NXT, because people been thinking, depending on where you sit, people been thinking that Trick Williams was main roster ready already. So him being in this space to do this particular accolade, how they're going about it, and then I take it a step further. Joe Hendry was just in a WrestleMania match. He lost, but he was in a match with one of the greatest of all time, Randy Orton. Win, lose, or draw, that put some steam up under Joe Hendry's ass. So for Trick Williams to come after that, because this should be where Joe Hendry should capitalize, get a win, and hold and stand strong a little bit. Nothing about this makes me feel like Joe's going to retain, and then Trick going to get called up to the main roster. Right. It's not going to happen that way. They're going to put the belt on Trick so he can stay down there a little more, do something with it. But whenever it gets to a point where they want to have him drop the title to somebody, more than likely in TNA, which could be around the summertime, we'll probably get Trick in those summertime call-ups that they have around August, September-ish, right around right before not SummerSlam, but and then I wanted to talk about this. So NXT, in my little round of releases, it has to officially be a brand now if they see post-release to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Nikita Lyons, few years. I know at least more than 2. She been there before. She was there before 2.0. 2.0 came, went. Damn, how long? Okay, so let me think back. I want to say she hasn't been there since maybe 2002-ish, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Dakota Kai got released. Jakara Jackson got released. Both of these people were on the main roster. Jakara was going back and forth with, the main roster in NXT, of course, because of, her and Lash Legend getting time on both shows. So how did people like that lose their job for her to keep hers? And they clearly showing us that they still don't know exactly what to do with it. So it's making me wonder, in a world where scandals have happened and keep happening, who is Nikita Lyons fucking? Someone needs to tell me this, because I don't know if y'all caught it, but her little like the work that she's done since they put her in Evolve. It looked okay. I sound like a complete hater. Like the stuff that she did in Evolve looked okay, but I think it looked okay because it was for that.
Development talent.
Yeah, like I don't know the person that she was going against, and I'm the way I've been like keeping up with what's going on. Like I know some of the wrestlers in Evolve, whether they were from Evolve already or they were in other indie promotions and they're finally getting TV time on Evolve. They got a lot of people that's working different TV tapings between NXT and Evolve. That's a part of that LFG show they were doing, the Undertaker and Bubba Ray and all them. So
Yeah.
for you to have a match at your point in wrestling against a legit, respectful nobody. I'm not calling that young lady a nobody because she in the industry. She was on TV. She made it. Love you, love you, love you, love you. I really mean that. But no one can pinpoint a thing that you did to either make Nikita look good or to stand out. That's my point. Like they had Nikita Lyons in feuds with people that's on the main roster right now.
That's true.
So these are the things we gotta like pay attention to right now, in my opinion, with the stuff that's not Raw and SmackDown. Because in my opinion, up until this triple threat feud with Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams, the main event scene post Obafemi winning the belt was kind of mid. Even with this Miles Bourne thing, like, are y'all aware of that? Like Miles Bourne is supposed to be that guy with he can't hear, like he's deaf on one side or something like that. So he got a speech impediment because he's deaf in one ear or something like that.
Yeah. He had a promo about that last week. Yeah.
Yeah, like why are they pushing him in this space for the title with Obafemi? Like Oba's gonna beat him. It's a term that it's a term for this. Like, well, you can't beat the handicap on TV. What the fuck did they not learn for what Brock Lesnar did to Zach Gowen? Y'all can't keep doing this to the handicap. They turned Eugene heel because they got tired of beating on a person with that, like, what? Like, oh my God. They got to stop it. Like, Oba's going to whoop him, and they're pushing his disability to try to get him over after he already won his spot. That's not good for wrestling. That's like, that's not good. That is so not good. I don't know why. There's a lot of good stuff going on in NXT, but to me, the stuff that matters feels forced. That Dark State thing, I love it. I really do. It seems like it's somebody in the wings that's supposed to be like the leader. I wish they need to just go ahead and get on with it. I felt like it could have been or should have been Trick Williams, but it wasn't. And I see what they're going with Trick. Like he's in this. I think after realizing he wasn't the leader of Dark State, I'm realizing what his heel turn character is supposed to be. This is Hollywood Trick. When I saw him do that freestyle the other day, I was convinced. Oh yeah, this is Hollywood Trick. He doing a rap concert right now in full heel form with the sparkle belt, the vest. I'm like, man, where Joe at? I need him to sit down and watch this as it's happening, because I was like, what is this? This Hollywood Trick, man. That's why I feel like he gonna be Joe Hendry. I hate it in so many ways because instead of doing all this, just put him on the main roster and make it work. But
right,
they're gonna reinforce his character as a heel without Carmelo Hayes to see what happens with it. If you ain't gonna put the belt back on him, this what you're gonna do? Fine. Watch what happens with this. Just watch. Just please just watch this. I don't want nobody to look like he done said some hash shit. No. I'm telling you, this is all happening because if they not gonna put this man on the main roster and have him lost in the shuffle right now, they're gonna try to reinforce a character nobody asked for to add to him for when they do.
Hmm.
Because a title reign or two and whoop that trick with Booker T alias was not enough to send him up there right now. And I don't think they're ready to send him and Book up to the main roster, because if you would have sent him when it was time, Book had to go with him.
Right. I agree, man. I agree. I do think he should be the leader of Dark State. This should be, like you said, his Hollywood trick moment. I think that would totally work, especially with how NXT is currently right now. With Obafemi being your like unstoppable force, your Goldberg, if you will, he could totally take that off of him again. Because I don't think Ethan Page, and that was somebody else I was thinking of when we were talking about that whole evolution thing. If you don't send Sammy, if you don't make Sammy the third guy in Seth's new stable, I'm totally putting Ethan Page there. Totally. But yeah, man. So we just it's a lot going on in NXT to pay attention to. I don't want to butcher their tag name. Exium. How does it go?
Fraxium.
They've been doing great on SmackDown too. So I just wanted to make sure I gave them some quick props before we move on to do our predictions. But yeah, Fraxium's been doing great. I didn't know how that transition was going to work initially at first, but after seeing these handful of matches they had, I'm like, yeah, I'm with it.
I got a quick question since you just mentioned that. As great as you feel that they are, do you think that it was either too soon or perfectly time for them to beat a team like the Street Profits?
I think it was fine because it was something new. I mean, it was also an asterisk next to it, though. They weren't healthy. They had just been removed from that TLC match. So it'd be different if they beat them and they. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. They were bandaged up.
The Profits still technically healed right now in this role with the championships right now, right? They healed.
Right? Are they healed though? Like
they're not. They're kind of tweeners.
I just think they're getting cheered, but they were supposed to be healed.
No, they were. That was an attempt to turn them heel. That's why they changed the theme and everything. But I think what it was is the fans are still trying to cheering them, and it might be a slow thing too, though. Because they're not going to lose the titles. They might just do something underhanded. But I think, too, the problem that is you can't have your two best tag teams on the roster both be heels. I think they're going to stay in that tweener space. Because DIY are heels. So, and they're looking like they're about to split up Legado.
Yep.
So, this is why the tag division just needs to be unified, though. The men have more depth, but
I was just about to say that.
I didn't understand the splitting up the titles again.
And on the booking side of things, it makes it so much easier when you don't have to worry about, oh, I got to leave this tag team, this set of tag team champs off of this card. I got to make them have a match on SmackDown or Raw because they won't be on the pay-per-view. Like, you know
the problem is they haven't had on a PLE. When was the last time they had a tag titles on the PLE event? Either set of titles. I mean, besides Mania, obviously. It was a while. They went like a 6 or 7 month stretch. Then they put it on one PLE. I think they put the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY at Royal Rumble. Before that, it was a 5 or 6 month stretch where you didn't see no set of titles defended on PLEs.
I don't know when the War Raiders won titles before New Day took it from them. So that tells you a lot.
Yeah. They won them on a random episode of Raw against JD and Finn. I remember Damian Priest had interfered.
Yeah. When was that? Is that January?
That was right after Priest lost his rematch to Gunther, which was might have been around January actually.
It had to have been January if that happened. Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't even his rematch. He just earned a rematch type thing because they didn't. There was no automatic rematches anymore. So it was around that time though. So it must have been a Rumble then. It had to have been around the Rumble.
Yep, sounded like it.
Yeah.
Well, gents, let's go ahead. I want to change gears real quick. I want to do these predictions before we get out of here. We definitely had to touch on, we talked about it in pre-production. We was like, do we touch on Mania? Do we not touch on Mania?
Nah, we kind of. It was a little bit because it's kind of hard to touch on storylines currently going on without talking about Mania because some of it is it's like the aftershocks of Mania anyway. So
Yeah. So we had to. Okay. Well, first order of business on the predictions, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and do WWE Saturday Night Main Event. That's gonna be on this Saturday on Peacock and on NBC. He came on NBC too last time, right? I
yeah,
have.
I think so. I was like, I forgot which one it was. December was it or before that? It was another one after that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was one after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just
Like one
happened.
like right before right before Mania. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. This list is courtesy of CBS Sports, so it might be subject to change, but as is currently right now, today recording, I'm gonna just go on the list that it got right here. World Heavyweight Championship: Jey Uso versus Logan Paul.
Heat. Prime versus Yeet Yeet.
There you go.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I'm on the side of the Yeet. Yeah, I'm on the Yeet side.
Even though deep down, and I hate that I feel this way, Jay. I'm sorry, but you're gonna be a transitional champ, buddy. You're gonna be a
We'll
transitional champ.
see. I mean, because what is transitional? Transitional to me is like less than 2 months. I think he'll keep it past Money in the Bank.
So what we calling Drew McIntyre?
Well, he was a
Temporary.
transitional champ. He's a transitional champ.
That's transitional. He still got it.
Temporary.
Kane is transitional. That was a day. You got it and lost it. It's transition. If it wasn't more than 3 months,
Yeah, I think Jay will keep it to SummerSlam.
I do too.
He'll have the SummerSlam. That'll be what, a 6-month run?
4.
4? Yeah, I that's why I say
I don't think it looks bad if you make the people that Jay fight look like they could win and he beats them. So it's okay if you think that Logan could win, but they not. No, don't put
The
that.
only thing I could see is if because they already did Rhea's title change, I could see Jay losing on her. I just thought about it because here's a scenario: what happens? They do the same thing to Rhea. Somebody gets beat down. If Jay retains, his next title defense is supposed to be against Gunther, which is 2 days after Money in the Bank. Whoever wins the briefcase could cash in because Gunther's not getting the title back.
Nah, no
He
chance.
could choke out Jey Uso out of some frustration from losing 2 times in a row to Jey Uso, choke him out. Whoever wins the briefcase could cash in. So maybe Jay might be a transitional champion. Now that I think about it, I could definitely see somebody cash in. It's set up for somebody cash in on Jay on Raw since it's 2 days after Money in the Bank.
Unless they do the unthinkable and have whoever win cash in on Cena in December, since that's supposed to be his last appearance.
There's a possibility.
Absolutely.
All right. Speaking of Cena, John Cena versus R-Truth.
Cena.
I mean, we already talking about somebody cashing in on somebody in December. R-Truth's not winning this match.
Hey, what if we get Ron Killing's TNA version, R-Truth?
It'll be nice.
I think that's what we're going to get in the match. Well, he's not going to win, but I think that'll be the match because that Ron Killings can definitely
Isn't it
get a good
ironic?
match out of Cena.
Isn't it ironic though that now the other person hates Little Jimmy?
All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna move on to the next match.
I'm just saying, isn't that ironic that John Cena's the one that hates
No,
Little Jimmy
you
now?
know what? It just blew my mind when you said that because like the only 2
Mind blown.
times that they had that R-Truth had a championship match, he was in a heel or face situation with John Cena. He the only person that
With his
can
man. With his
Fair-
man.
Fun fact too, people forget right before Punk's. So unless they did it at a live event, people forget John Cena was a champion. R-Truth won that tables match. People just forgot the part bar promo. I'm like, technically R-Truth should have got a rematch. Unless he got it at a live event, we don't know about it.
You right.
He probably did though, because usually after you finish a feud with somebody on pay-per-view, right? Even if you lose to them on TV, you probably still working with that person until the next pay-per-view. So I'm sure you've got a title match at a live event.
And lost because
Yeah.
he did.
I was just thinking, yeah, he did win that match.
He did.
All right. Let's see. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
Seth and Braun.
Seth and Brian due to the turn.
Yeah, you got to keep the
I
momentum going.
even if there's no turn, I see that because you just can't have them lose right now. It would really hurt, stagnate their momentum. Only way they lose is by disqualification. You can't have either one of them getting pinned right now.
That one, and it could be that. It could be that the third person finally reveals themselves, calls them. It
Is he
calls
the third? Is he the third man?
it. So it could go that way too. We'll see. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match.
Drew, because I think Damian Priest is about to get some time off. I heard he's working pretty banged up right now. That's the rumor I heard.
And they released this girl too, right? She was one of the people that got released.
I don't even know if they were officially a couple. I can't keep up. At one point, it seemed like they were.
They were like acting like they were just friends, but after a while, I don't exactly know. But she did get released though. Her and didn't her tag partner get released too?
Both of them got released. Yeah.
That's actually sad because Katie Canizaro was like real athletic. Not saying the other one wasn't, but damn, like they signed her straight off American Gladiators to do nothing with her. That's crazy. But
they touched the NXT tag titles like once or twice, but yeah, nothing on the main roster. I don't think
nothing serious. They were on the main. They was on the main roster. They just didn't.
No. As I said they touched the NXT tag titles once or twice, right? I said, but nothing really on the main roster, right?
Yeah, no, they were on it. They just didn't do nothing. But
no, I remember they made it. I was just saying they didn't. Yeah. Piggyback what you said. Like I don't think they. I think they were actually what they got a couple of tag title matches. I think
they did. Just so they can have them because they was like one of the at a certain point they were one of the few, if not only, tag teams they had before they started bringing the Metaphor girls up and down.
Yep.
But yeah, I was gonna actually piggyback off what you said, and honestly, I would want Damian Priest to win because he had the momentum going into this feud to me. But they Drew got a lot going on to actually lose this match, in my opinion. Like if he lost this, it'll just make everything else he doing look stupid.
Yeah,
it'll make him look weak. And Damian Priest can actually afford to lose this match. So I think this is just a way to get them their last their rubber match before they completely end the feud, and Drew continues on into the US title picture, and you probably won't see Priest until something like SummerSlam.
Plus, if they're going to transition Jacob Fatu, he needs a dancing partner, so to speak, at Money in the Bank. Because Solo's in a briefcase match.
Yeah.
So I think you could do that in a sense. Whoever comes out of this match gets the U.S. title match. Like I said, I heard a rumor that Priest is pretty banged up. So he might, like I said, like Clutch was speaking to, he might just write him off for a little while.
Yeah, he winning this match is going to make, facing Jacob feel legitimate. He is still a former world champion, so
yeah, and that's the one title he's never won. He was talking about being a Grand Slam champion.
He did say this makes him a Grand Slam champion, so he might come off real hungry. Yeah, Drew
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's again Saturday night main event. That's happening this Saturday. You can check that out on Peacock and on NBC. Last but certainly not least, we got AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view that takes place on Sunday. So, Clutch, do you still got the card up on your end?
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yes, sir. So it's a packed wrestling weekend. It's a Memorial.
Thank goodness for DVRs.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, match number 1. We have they added some stuff just at the time we've been sitting here.
See, that's why I figured. Yeah, they always be doing that.
They added the 10th match since we've been sitting here.
Wow.
So that first
time like an Amazon truck.
Literally on time for predictions. We got Megan Bain and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron.
They've been doing a lot with the latter two in terms of the comedy shtick they got going on, but
Harley Cameron.
You kind of have to protect Megan Bain as much as possible and keep her relevant. So if that team win, I'll take them. Penelope takes the pinfall. Yeah, I'll take Harley Cameron and Anna Jay. But Penelope's taking the pinfall. The Megan Bain's not getting pinned anytime soon. Not again.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Megan Bain team.
I wanted to, but they want to protect her, keep her relevant. But I just think she could her partner could afford the loss. Penelope can. That's my thought
That's what I
process
was
at least.
thinking too. But then I think I'm gonna probably go to Megan Bain and Penelope Ford route and they'll pin Anna Jay because she can actually afford that loss too, even though you would think they want to keep putting momentum behind Harley Cameron because I was personally entertained by that stuff she was doing.
Yeah.
Mercedes Monet, even though nothing came of it, but I thought. But Tony books like this. Trust me, I don't know if I don't know if they're gonna win, bro.
Yeah, I know it's hard to tell. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Next match, the OS Hart Foundation Cup final, and the winner gets a AEW World Championship match at All In between Jamie Hayter and everybody's favorite four horsewoman, not mine, Mercedes Moné.
I don't got the thirst quencher that's downstairs, but I'm gonna take some haterade, man.
Yeah, my spirit will let me pick Sasha Banks. So, Hayter, you got it.
You want to pick the women's Beyonce, the Beyonce at a woman's, how she put it, the woman's division.
That dumbass shit
She
on
said
me.
the woman's, not the women's. She called
Right,
herself
not the women's, the
Beyonce.
woman.
Absolutely the hell not.
Okay, all jokes aside, I'm taking Mercedes though, because only
Yeah.
reason I say that is because Tony Storm more than likely is going to be a champion at All in Texas. They're not above doing a babyface versus babyface matchup, but I think you kind of need to because that might be her crowning moment. Maybe Mercedes is, maybe they're all in, so to speak, with her.
Hey man,
I think so.
this like putting Hulk Hogan on the card. I don't give a damn who she fighting. Understand me?
No, now her character's been trash, but she's been having some actually well, at least the stuff with Statlander was fire. Those two.
I like the Statlander match, and I even like that last match she did with Willow Nightingale. But there's nothing she's done aside from those two things.
The Billy Starks match was good, but it's just the promos and stuff are not connecting.
And she's supposed to be the one, so Mercedes Hogan, I'm not picking you. All right. The tag team match next was for the AEW World Tag Team Championship between the Hurt Business and the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
It's to quote a rapper from Buffalo, boop, 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 boom. That's they hurt people. So, there we go.
Yeah.
Hurt Syndicate, baby. Y'all know I wasn't going no other way.
I just realized the Sons of Texas was a tag team like 3 days ago. So why would I pick them? The Hurt Business win that match.
That's TK not wanting to give up on them trying to put Sammy Guevara as a respectable person, but he's still kind of a scumbag. So
And this is them trying to give
the fact they keep trying to make that man a babyface is hilarious.
I'm sorry, Dustin. I love you. I don't want to say you're Cody's brother, but Jesus.
I just
think
it's hilarious. He's that determined to get Sammy over as a babyface. He still will not let that go.
He will not let go of the dream.
Trying to get that pillar over, man.
That's the one. But don't say that. And he just tried to put one of his other pillars in the Hurt Business. Anyway, it has to have some Tony Funk on it. Look, let me keep going. Timeless Tony Storm with Luther versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship.
I'm gonna pull a wise man. Vandross.
Shout out to the wise man.
You probably thought you were talking about Tony Braxton if you didn't say Storm. You just said
totally.
Pretended like we know you.
Tony Braxton in the match. No, I'm gonna do this with you right now.
Yes. Tony Storm.
No Diddy.
I'm gonna go timeless Tony.
If Diddy was booking this match, it'd probably be a baby wall on the pole match.
God damn it, Kirky. Why would you say that?
Next.
Sponsored by Johnson & Johnson.
Totally.
The promo gonna be Meek Mill. Anyway,
Dreams and Nightmares.
That's the what? FTR versus Daniel Garcia.
Ironically, because Diddy basically did FTR.
Oh, FTR
I'm going to
versus.
pick Daniel Garcia.
And you gotta be careful because Nigel McGuinness had hepatitis. You know, somebody at the Diddy party probably had that too. But he had a different type. My fault. Okay, FTR. Sorry.
FTR.
I'm going to pick FTR because you said that about Nigel McGuinness.
And yeah, another thing about the Diddy party, Daniel Garcia would definitely be welcome to the way he'd be gyrating his hips. He definitely been accepted at one of them Diddy parties.
Diddy would have got him first anyway. All like that.
The Diddler.
He better go talk to Griselda. He from Buffalo. You better get them on the side.
Whoa.
You know they ain't gonna be there.
No. The next match, I just realized
He should have got Benny. Ironically, he should have got Benny the Butcher to be his tag partner.
Oh my goodness, no. But he got him against a team, and they got Stokely Hathaway with him. That's gonna be funny. The next match, I didn't realize even like a real match that's gonna happen. It's gonna be a stretcher match between Mark Briscoe and Ricochet.
Bald. They be killing me with that.
Bald.
Ricochet.
Yeah, I don't see them letting Ricochet lose this one.
Although Mark Briscoe is probably one of the more underappreciated, underrated treasures of wrestling right now. That dude's hilarious.
That dude.
That's just it really is a shame him and his brother never got a run in WWE.
That part, yeah, man.
Rest in peace, Jay.
Rest in peace.
Jay Briscoe, for sure. I think that hindered him, and then Tony Khan latched on in that moment. So that's probably like the main reason that Briscoe didn't even go to NXT after that. So
yeah,
he was on the contract of Ring of Honor when his brother died, and then Tony bought Ring of Honor. Circumstantial as hell to me. Anyway, the next match is a Anarchy in the Arena match between Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, and the Ops. That's Joe, Hobbs, and Shibata against the Death Riders. That's Moxley, Claudio, Marina Shafir, and Wheeler and the Young Bucks.
I'm gonna pull a wise man. Jada kissing him out there.
This is not a versus, sir. See, it's like he's here.
Right.
Oh man. Okay. I said it before. This whole Death Riders AEW stuff is
ass.
It's one of the most cringeworthy feuds. Ass. It makes zero sense. It's nothing's really adding up about this feud. He's you can't even buy you probably got to buy the briefcase on AEWshop.com. We don't even know what the championship looks like anymore at this point. Just for that simple fact, I'm picking the Ops, Swerve, and Willow. I'm tired of this Death Rider.
I want to pick them, but I this might. Well, this is the championship.
Oh, and Kenny, my fault.
Man,
yeah, I can go with them.
They're not gonna lose that match.
I can see that. Yeah, I can go with them. Just don't got no title ramifications neither.
Oh, but they not winning that match, man.
I'm just not really. I'm not a fan. I will say this of ever not having the world championship defended at a big event.
At a big event, definitely.
I'm not a fan of that personally, too. Even if it is captured in a briefcase somewhere.
I agree.
I just want to know why they don't now. Why Roddy Strong on now is the fact that his wife running around with a stable with 4 other dudes. He just back there. Adam!
That's crazy because we're about to get to him in a minute. The next match is for the AEW Continental Championship between Okada and Speedball Mike Bailey, and I'm going Okada.
Talking about cocaine?
You are definitely in your wise man bag.
Right, he missed in this. He missed in this.
Okada.
That was easy. The next match
Rainmaker.
Paragon with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and said person Roderick Strong versus the Callis family, Takashita, Kyle Fletcher, and Josh Alexander in the trios match. Who y'all got for that one?
Undisputed Era. I mean, what they call
The Paragon.
Paragon. Nah.
Paragon.
Yeah. The hell was that?
Something failed because he said Undisputed Era.
Right, 1 second.
Go ahead. I'm gonna actually put.
I thought we got technical difficulties. You didn't hear that? Sound like that.
You're gonna get a do 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 do, but you can't say Undisputed Era no more. But
I got the DC Universe.
The Don Callis family, the DC Universe. I ain't gonna lie, I was actually leaning toward that being one of my answer too, because I think like Josh Alexander just got signed and he supposed to be and I don't think they're gonna sign him and then have him take an L in this match. Like this,
but they want to,
because they gonna want to make him a big deal later.
Right, because Takeshita not been getting pinned
WWE
by
Hell yeah. He's not gonna get pinned. His team not gonna lose. It's a bad look.
They'll probably either have Roddy or Kyle take the pin, because you don't want Adam Cole once again champion in how 2 champions in multi-man matches. Explain that to me. Make that make sense.
Tony Khan, Coney Khan.
They got too many. They got 4 champions. No, 3, because Kenny Omega's the international champion.
International champ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. See, I told you they got too many damn championships over there.
It's only 3 championships being defended, and there's 2 singles championships and 1 tag championship. But everything else where a champion is involved is a multi-person match.
Or in the case of Mercedes, if she's the champion going into that, because she has to defend that title at a Collision. Tomorrow night, is it?
Yeah.
No, Saturdays. I think Collision is on Saturday. That's wild. They got to put a double duty that close. She probably gonna drop that then. She probably gonna drop that on Collision.
Unless she says that's not good enough for her brother. She going brother. Anyway, because that's the women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup final. The last match that's left is the men's, and of course, the person who wins that one gets a world title match. You got to keep that in mind with a pick because of who we got. We got Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay.
I'm going Ospreay. Just makes the most sense. It would. Ironically, everything would come full circle storyline wise if Hangman did defeat Moxley, because I did remember that storyline where it wasn't even a storyline, it was legit where he knocked him out in the match.
Right.
It just makes more sense. They've invested too much in Ospreay for him not to get the championship. Plus, they're going back to what event is it they're going to the UK for in August? It's not All In, because that's All In is in Texas. Right. Not All Out. All Out is in Canada this year. I think Toronto. There's another event that's in between us. There's something.
It's not Revolution. Revolution is the beginning.
First one. I think maybe it's a Grand Slam event or something. They do Grand Slam twice, right? I can't remember. It's some event I just watched Dynamite. I don't know why I'm forgetting, but yeah, because it's something they're going back to London for. It's a big event. So I'm gonna take Ospreay and have him walk in as champion.
Yeah. Adam Page is definitely a Tony Khan guy. That's why you only think to go a swerve could happen, or maybe this is one of those. It's almost clear cut that Will Ospreay gonna win it. You're gonna give him the Owen Hart accolade so that it looks good when he goes up against Moxley. Clearly, Moxley gonna have the belt because he ain't defending his belt. So I would truly hate if Coney Time decided, because we all feel this way about Will Ospreay winning the match, to just go ahead and give it to Hangman Adam Page because his feud with Swerve is finally over. So what's next for him?
I
Do
think
any of y'all want to see Adam Page with another title run?
his
Any?
I'd
character's a
much,
lot better. His character's a lot better now than it was before. I will
but
say
I'd
that.
much rather we just go ahead and give Osprey his
And
first
give
feud.
Yeah,
Osprey
it just doesn't.
a lot of talking on social media to not have no championship, bro. So it's
Yeah.
probably time. Seriously.
Well,
Yeah.
plus they got. I think everything's gonna come full circle. I wouldn't be surprised because remember, Swerve got unfinished business with the Hurt business. And then MJF still kind of has his little. He still kind of has his little beef with Hangman. He's upset because the fans chose him. He brought up the fact that Hangman burned somebody's house. I wouldn't be surprised if Swerve, and that comes full circle. I wouldn't be surprised if Swerve and Hangman, because you need two people that come out as badasses to take the Hurt Syndicate down. I wouldn't be surprised at some point. Also, Swerve has his beef with the Young Bucks. That's still murky with him and them and Hangman. They're trying to play nice with him. He didn't forget that they turned their backs on him when he decided to be a single star. Then they tried to play nice. Then they suspended him. I wouldn't be surprised if Hangman and Swerve feud with the Bucks because they keep hinting that they're about to bury the hatchet. Like they kind of go on their separate ways. He apologized for it. He said, "Yeah, I know I deserve my house to get burned down," type thing. I think that's the direction they go with Heyman. I think him and Swerve are gonna probably end up getting the tag titles at some point.
That'd be hilarious. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I just think that's what they're headed towards. So they're not gonna feud again, but they keep crossing each other's paths too. Like they're. I will say this: the upper mid card for the most part, outside that Death Riders BS, it's intriguing. The upper mid card and the main event, outside of that, obviously that's a big glaring blimp on the road. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, as they say, but it's getting it.
800-pound gorilla is crazy, but I get it.
Yeah. 800-pound gorilla. Could you imagine? Did you see that one meme? They were like 100 men versus gorilla, but the gorilla, when the last person come out, is Brock Lesnar.
Hey,
They said he's a number 100 entrant.
even the Beast Incarnate can't do nothing with no gorilla. I'm sorry.
You gonna take him to Suplex City? What you mean?
The gorilla gonna take him to Suplex City. Gonna take him to Congo City. All right. So there you have it, man. That is which one?
Double or nothing.
Double or Nothing coming up this Sunday. That's gonna be on what? Do they show the pay-per-views on HBO Max?
I think so.
HBO Max and Bleacher Steel.
Okay, so those will be your places to check that out on Sunday. HBO Max, Bleacher Report live, and yeah, man. So you got a action-packed weekend of wrestling, and your boys finally came back. Your boys. Okay,
Good hot take.
Right. Hot
Can't call it.
take.
I'm not going to be the person that says medium meat for your entertainment.
No, we're gonna leave that for him when he comes.
Yeah,
back.
that's wild talk, especially for the person that says pause the most on anybody on the podcast.
And we do stuff Christian. That's the only thing you get from it. That's it. But people, y'all make sure y'all follow us on social media: TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling, Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling. The artist formerly known as Twitter X Wrestling Take. We are on Twitch as well at Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. As always, you can catch us on YouTube at NMG TV. Yeah, man. So let me go ahead. Take that thing off of there, fellas. Anything else y'all got to say on this episode before we get on out of here?
As I always say, it's always a pleasure to be able to come together with my brothers and talk about this thing that brought us together here on this platform. Good night, farewell, and good evening. My back is on fire.
It was me,
Clutch.
Austin. It was all.
Go ahead, KG.
It was me, Austin. It was all along. It was me, Austin.
Yep. All right, people. Well, on that note, man, we're gonna get on up out of here. We should be back to regular scheduled programming on Wednesdays next week. That'll be around 9:15. But yeah, I want to thank y'all for checking us out. Everybody that did tune in, thank y'all for tuning in. We back, baby. We back. Um,
KG Mateo.
KG Mateo. That's gonna be his next name. Next week.
Stop
Um,
trying to make that a thing.
other than that, any other hot news I got? Website coming soon. Well, merchandise will be on there
These are
later.
the hot takes of our lives.
This guy. And on that note, man.
Like sand through the hourglass.
You have to.
On that note, we out of here. We out of here. Till next time. Love, live life. Wolfpack for life, y'all. Peace.